Hey everybody. I'm sure you guys remember the most recent Cook with Intel episode to date. The one from the fall of 2014. Cook with Intel. Not sure exactly which episode number it is right off the top of my head. I can look right quick. It was episode 4. Cooking, he was boiling pasta on a Pentium 4 3 GHz CPU. And I'm sure many of you guys may remember that CPU got up to at least 160 degrees Celsius, if not a lot hotter than that. And it got so hot that it literally cooked the motherboard beneath it. Now this motherboard, before I even used it for the episode, already had some issues to begin with. It was having some issues with stability, and it wasn't related to the RAM or anything like that. It was just with the motherboard. SIS chipset motherboards were not all that great. Anyways, before I had this motherboard here recycled, I'd like to show you guys the aftermath of the heat damage from that hot CPU. You may be able to see it already. You see the big X? That is the retention bracket for the cooler. Look just to the right of that. You can probably see some discoloration on the board right there, near where the VRMs are at. Have a look. See where it's kind of a tannish brown there? That is heat damage. And I mean, some serious heat damage. When the motherboard gets discolored like that, it's kind of obvious it got very, very hot. Now if you have a look at the uppermost part right there, you can see it's also discolored right in that area. It got very hot there as well. Now obviously the hottest spot was right under the processor itself, but the VRMs got very hot as well, because you got to think about it. All that heat was getting transferred to the motherboard, and the VRMs themselves put out a lot of heat. Just by themselves put out a good deal of heat. So when you already have a hot motherboard and you have VRMs that create a good bit of heat, those VRMs alone get very hot, and that's why you see so much heat damage where the VRMs are at. Now surprisingly, none of the caps got damaged. None of the capacitors got damaged. The capacitors are okay. The CPU socket, seems okay. Amazingly, seeing it's made a lot out of plastic. And let's see if we can see any discoloration on the top part of the board. Yes, we can. Right in this area. It's kind of got that tannish brown color. Got some discoloration there, and look along through here. You can see some of it in that area. Now the CPU itself looks just like an ordinary Pentium 4 processor. You wouldn't really be able to tell that it was exposed to temperatures over 150 degrees Celsius just by looking at it, but the motherboard you can definitely tell was exposed to very hot temperatures. And have a look at this little speaker. Yes, I destroyed that with a pair of pliers because it wouldn't shut up. See, I took a pair of needle nose pliers to it, and that fixed the problem. Anyways, just a good overall look at this motherboard before I have it recycled. This was the motherboard used in Cooking with Intel episode 4. So anyways, any questions or comments? Feel free to ask, and thanks for watching.